Good morning. Time once again for Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Sean Robertson of Gateville Law Firm. They're located in Yorkville and they're online at gatevillelawfirm.com. And Sean is with us in studio again. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Mike. How you doing?
Good, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing fabulous.
Good. We're both in a good mood, so let's dive into today's topic. It's selling and buying a home with your mother-in-law.
Exactly.
This is an interesting scenario. We've got some tips for you along the way, so set this up for us.
Yeah, so basically nowadays, especially with a lot of parents, one spouse has deceased, they're moving in with their kids. They're either moving in their house or they're just deciding to upgrade and buy a bigger house that is more suited for like a mother-in-law suite.
All right, so where do we get into issues here when this is the situation?
So one of the first steps is selling your current home. So maybe there's one or two people that are selling the home, and you've got to understand the marketplace. And a lot of times they're going to hire a real estate agent. Maybe they want to find out how much money they're going to estimate or net from the purchase or the sale, and then they're going to purchase another home. That's essentially what is going on in this scenario.
And there's important things timing-wise, there's tax issues, all that stuff plays in.
Exactly. And not only that, but in today's real estate market, I mean, maybe you lease back, maybe as a seller, you buy a little time to move, where sometimes when you're buying another home, it's difficult to coordinate the sale and the buy. So sometimes the seller will have the real estate agent basically create a leaseback situation from the buyer where they have maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 30 days to move.
All right, so what about some of the legal advice and financial advice when we're dealing with the mother-in-law? However the transaction is going to take place here, what should people keep in mind?
I think people should keep in mind is, instead of just going into it without a plan, I think the mother-in-law and maybe the kids should talk about what's the exit strategy. What are their expectations? I know I lived with my mother-in-law for a long time before she died, and it can be a very complicated. Number one, ask the question, is it worth it? And number two, if you're going to do it, what's the best way to do it?
Yeah, because you want to, we've talked on previous shows, if you don't have a plan in place, when you bring in a third person in a living arrangement, something could go wrong, and then all of a sudden there's all kinds of legal issues here.
Right. Like one of the things, so let's say, like last time you talked about maybe the mother or the mother-in-law doesn't go on legal title, which that could work. But the downside to that is, let's say the house is in a husband and the son-in-law's name, and the wife or the daughter dies, and the house goes completely to the son-in-law, and the son-in-law is living with the mother-in-law. I mean, I think you could see that scenario not playing out very well.
Most likely, yeah, for sure. Any other items, steps, advice that they should know beforehand to try to put a good plan together?
Yeah, I think the advice is, talk openly about it and prepare for the unexpected. It doesn't have to be a perfect plan, but come up with the plan. And I think come talking to us, we do real estate and estate planning, is a wise deal, because how you structure this is going to be a big deal. And a lot of times people try to do it on their own, and they create one problem by, let's say, adding the mother-in-law to title or taking her away, but they don't realize there's a second consequence. And so as an attorney, I deal with these things all the time. So we can help you create a good plan to avoid that legal nightmare.
Yeah, because the one thing you mentioned, people try to do this on their own, and maybe they do have good intentions to put a plan together, but maybe they only plan for one scenario. They're thinking of just a narrow-minded approach. You guys know all the different types of scenarios that the regular person wouldn't even think of.
Absolutely, because we deal with this every day, especially when people are aging. Incapacity and mental decline and long-term health issues are a very big deal.
Yeah, and when it comes to family, too, you want to try to have something in place so that everybody stays friendly, gets along. You don't want to have all kinds of family issues over money and that type of thing.
Exactly.
All right, Gateville Law Firm is where you need to go to get all the details, all of the info. Your questions will get answered. and you'll get the help you need. GatevilleLawFirm.com. They are located in Yorkville, and you can call them right now, 630-780-1034, and talk to Sean Robertson or anyone on his team at Gateville Law Firm. We're at Gateville Law Firm. Trust matters. We'll see you again next week.